All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Naresh Mago and with me is Prashant Kumar Sinha. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in second India-Nordic Summit today. India and Denmark sign 9 agreements. Prime Minister Modi holds talks with his Danish counterpart, Mette Frederiksen, in Copenhagen. Home Minister Amit Shah says Modi government pursuing zero-tolerance policy towards terrorism from day one. Much-awaited IPO of LIC opens today for investors. India achieves merchandise export of $38.19 billion in April this year. President Ramnath Kovind to attend Bodo Sahitya Sabha at Kosubadi in Tamulpur district of Assam today. Char Dham Yatra begins with opening of Gangotri and Yamanotri temples in Uttarakhand. Khelo India University Games comes to a close with a glittering ceremony in Bengaluru. BCCI announces schedule for IPL 2022 playoffs, Ahmedabad to host the final. And Punjab Kings beat Gujarat Titans by 8 wickets in an IPL match at Navi Mumbai. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Janotsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. Recalling our yesterday's question, Bhognadi village in Jharkhand is associated with which famous rebellion against the British? The correct answer is Santhal Rebellion. On 30th June 1855, about 50,000 Santhals from more than 400 villages gathered at Bhognadi to fight against the police, corrupt officials, moneylenders and Dikus, outsiders, who had illegally occupied Santhal land. This started the famous Santhal Rebellion, which is a very significant event in the freedom struggle of India. All India Radio News got an overwhelming response from its listeners across the world, and the one lucky winner of the quiz is S. Shanmugasundaram from Maninagaram in Madurai, Tamil Nadu.
I am an electronics and instrumentation engineer, age 32. I am having an electrical shop in Madurai, benefited in the startup scheme of our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I am a constant listener and talker of All India Radio in past 20 years. I know only some of freedom fighters, but the Azadi Ka Safar program gives me more information about our freedom fighters. Program boosted my national spirit, love and affection. Thanks to All India Radio Delhi to give such a useful program to us. Jai Hind.
Congratulations to Shanmugasundaram. The next question of Amrit Mahotsav quiz will be shared with the listeners on Monday, the 9th of May. Celebrate 75 years of India's independence by participating in Amrit Mahotsav quiz with All India Radio News. And now the news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the second India-Nordic Summit today, along with the Prime Ministers of Denmark, Iceland, Finland, Sweden and Norway. The summit is being hosted by Denmark. Mr. Modi will also hold bilateral meetings with Prime Minister of Iceland, Katrín Jakobsdóttir, Prime Minister of Norway, Jonas Gahr Støre, Swedish Prime Minister Magdalena Andersson, and Finland's Prime Minister Sanna Marin. Our correspondent reports that the India-Nordic Summit will help in expanding India's multifaceted cooperation with the Nordic region.
The India-Nordic Summit will focus on subjects like post-pandemic economic recovery, climate change, innovation and technology, renewable energy, the evolving global security scenario, and India-Nordic cooperation in the Arctic region. Nordic countries are important partners for India in sustainability, renewable energy, digitization and innovation. Matters of regional and global interests will also come up for discussions. The principal focus of the summit is how to carry forward the agenda of bilateral engagement between India and the Nordic countries. The first India-Nordic Summit took place in 2018 in Stockholm. Suparna Saikia, AIR News, Delhi.
Yesterday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held delegation-level talks with Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen in Copenhagen. Both leaders reviewed the progress of the Green Strategic Partnership, which was the first of its kind arrangement between India and Denmark. After holding delegation-level talks, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in his address at the joint press meet, said that both India and Denmark not only share the values of democracy, freedom of expression and the rule of law, but both also have many complementary strengths. Mr. Modi mentioned that during the India-Denmark Virtual Summit in October 2020, two countries gave their relationship the status of a Green Strategic Partnership, and during yesterday's discussion, the two leaders reviewed the joint work plan of Green Strategic Partnership.
दोनों देश लोकतंत्र, अभिव्यक्ति की स्वतंत्रता और कानून के शासन जैसे मूल्यों को तो साझा करते ही हैं, साथ में हम दोनों की कई कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री स्ट्रेंथ भी हैं। अक्टूबर 2020 में इंडिया डेनमार्क वर्चुअल समिट के दौरान हमने अपने संबंधों को ग्रीन स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप का दर्जा दिया था। हमने अपनी ग्रीन स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप के ज्वाइंट वर्क प्लान की समीक्षा की। मुझे खुशी है कि विभिन्न क्षेत्रों में विशेष रूप से रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी, स्वास्थ्य, पोर्ट्स, शिपिंग, सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी तथा वाटर मैनेजमेंट के क्षेत्रों में महत्वपूर्ण प्रगति हुई है।
The Prime Minister expressed happiness that significant progress has been made in various fields, especially in the areas of renewable energy, health, ports, shipping, circular economy and water management. Mr. Modi said more than 200 Danish companies are working in different sectors in India, and these companies are benefiting from increased ease of doing business and economic reforms in India. The Prime Minister added that many investment opportunities are available for Danish companies and Danish pension funds in India's infrastructure sector and green industries. Mr. Modi said that we also discussed many regional and global issues, including India-EU relations, Indo-Pacific and Ukraine. Mr. Modi hopes that the negotiations on the India-EU Free Trade Agreement will conclude soon.
हमने भारत EU रिश्तों, इंडो पैसिफिक और यूक्रेन सहित कई क्षेत्रीय तथा वैश्विक मुद्दों पर भी बातचीत की। हम आशा करते हैं कि इंडिया EU फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट, उस पर नेगोशिएशंस यथाशीघ्र संपन्न होंगे। हमने एक फ्री, ओपन, इंक्लूसिव और रूल बेस्ड इंडो पैसिफिक क्षेत्रों को सुनिश्चित करने पर जोर दिया। हमने यूक्रेन में तत्काल युद्ध विराम और समस्या के समाधान के लिए बातचीत और कूटनीति का रास्ता अपनाने की अपील की।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, we also discussed our cooperation in the field of climate and have agreed to explore more opportunities for cooperation in the Arctic region. He said India is also committed to fulfilling the resolutions taken at the Glasgow COP26. In her address at the joint press meet, Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen said that both the sides had a very productive meeting. She said the relations between India and Denmark are very strong. She added that we are moving fast in transforming our Green Strategic Partnership into some concrete results. Earlier, 9 agreements were inked between the two countries in various sectors. Announcement regarding launch of energy policy dialogue at ministerial level and India to join as mission partner to International Centre for Antimicrobial Resistance Solution (ICARS) was also made. Later, a joint statement was adopted after the delegation-level talks between the two leaders. The statement said that the two prime ministers noted with satisfaction the progress made in various areas since the visit of Prime Minister Frederiksen to India in October 2021, especially in the sectors of renewable energy, health, shipping and water. The two prime ministers also shared convergence of interest on the importance of climate action, green growth and energy diversification. During the last leg of the tour, the Prime Minister will briefly stop over in Paris and meet French President Emmanuel Macron. The visit to France will provide an opportunity to carry forward the high-level engagement between the two countries post the French presidential elections.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with Prime Minister of Denmark, Mette Frederiksen, addressed and interacted with the Indian community at the Bella Center in Copenhagen. More than 1,000 members of the Indian community in Denmark, consisting of students, researchers, professionals and businesspersons, participated in the event. Prime Minister Modi appreciated the Danish Prime Minister's respect for Indians and emphasized that both countries can work together in finding innovative solutions for green growth. In his address, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that inclusiveness and cultural diversity is the strength of the Indian community, which gives us a sense of liveliness every moment.
नई संभावनाओं की तरफ हम बढ़ने वाले हैं। मुझे खुशी है कि पूरे नॉर्डिक रीजन के साथ भी भारत के रिश्ते बहुत मजबूत हो रहे हैं। साथियों, दुनिया भर में फैले भारतीय डायस्पोरा को अगर मिला लिया जाए तो उनकी संख्या कई देशों की आबादी से अधिक होगी। उनका पहनावा, खान पान भले ही अलग अलग हो, लेकिन हमारी सोशल हार्मनी, वननेस और को एग्जिस्टेंस की जो वैल्यूज सभी भारतीयों में एक समान है और यही हमारी ताकत है। और जिनकी रूट किसी भी तरह मां भारती से जुड़ी हैं, वे स्वाभाविक तरह से लोकतंत्र और रूल ऑफ लॉ के प्रति सम्मान रखते ही है। एक भारतीय दुनिया में कहीं भी जाए, वो अपनी कर्मभूमि के लिए, उस देश के लिए पूरी ईमानदारी से कंट्रीब्यूट करता है।
Mr. Modi said whatever India is achieving today, that achievement is not only of India, but it is also the achievement of almost 1/5 of humanity. He stressed that the biggest demand of the time is to promote LIFE, L-I-F-E, which stands for Lifestyle for Environment. He said it is very important to get out of a consumption-oriented approach, as the use and throw mindset is negative for the planet. Home Minister Amit Shah has said that the Narendra Modi government has pursued a zero-tolerance policy towards terrorism from day one. Inaugurating the National Intelligence Grid, NAT-Grid premises at Bengaluru, Mr. Shah said security arrangements have changed significantly as compared to earlier challenges in terms of data, scope and complexity. He said there is a need for legal and security agencies to have automated, secure and immediate access to information obtained from reliable sources. Mr. Shah said the government has entrusted NAT-Grid with the task of developing and operating a state-of-the-art and innovative information technology platform for accessing information from data collection organizations. The Home Minister said the Union government will soon develop a national database to monitor hawala transactions, terrorist funding, counterfeit currency, narcotics, bomb threats, illegal arms smuggling and other terrorist activities.
The much-awaited initial public offering IPO of Life Insurance Corporation of India LIC will open for investors today. It will remain open to subscription till May the 9th. The indicative price range has been set at 902 to 949 rupees per share. 5,620 crore rupees worth of shares have been set aside for anchor investors. The anchor investor portion of the IPO, which opened on Monday, has been fully subscribed at 949 rupees per share. India has achieved monthly value of merchandise export of $38.19 billion in the last month. It shows an increase of around 24% as compared to the export registered in the same period last year. The value of non-petroleum exports in the last month was $30.46 billion, registering a growth of 12.32% in export against the corresponding period last year.
The Election Commission has announced the schedule for by-elections to 3 assembly constituencies in Odisha, Kerala and Uttarakhand. The by-election to Brajrajnagar constituency in Odisha, Trikkakara seat in Kerala and Champawat constituency in Uttarakhand will be held on the 31st of this month. The Election Commission said counting of votes will take place on the 3rd of next month. The Gazette notification for the election will be issued tomorrow and the last date for submission of nomination for these seats is the 11th of May. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in second India-Nordic summit today. India and Denmark signed 9 agreements. Prime Minister Modi holds talks with his Danish counterpart Mette Frederiksen in Copenhagen. Home Minister Amit Shah says Modi government pursuing zero-tolerance policy towards terrorism from day one. Much-awaited IPO of LIC opens today for investors. India achieves merchandise export of $38.19 billion in April this year. President Ramnath Kovind to attend Bodo Sahitya Sabha at Kosobari in Tamulpur district of Assam today. Char Dham Yatra begins with opening of Gangotri and Yamanotri temples in Uttarakhand. Khelo India University Games come to a close with a glittering ceremony in Bengaluru. BCCI announces schedule for IPL 2022 playoffs, Ahmedabad to host the final. And Punjab Kings beat Gujarat Titans by 8 wickets in an IPL match at Navi Mumbai. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alert.
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। इस बार का विषय है पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। सवाल भेजने की अंतिम तारीख है 4 मई। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
President Ramnath Kovind, who is on a 4-day visit to the northeastern states, will attend the concluding session of the Bodo Sahitya Sabha at Kosobari in Tamulpur district of Assam today. More from our correspondent.
President Shri Ramnath Kovind will attend the concluding session of the Bodo Sahitya Sabha today at Kachubari in Tamulpur district of Assam at around 10 a.m. It is a historic moment for the Bodo Sahitya Sabha as no president of India has ever attended any literary event of any language in the northeastern region. Assam Governor Professor Jagdish Mukhi, Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma, Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad Sangma and Chief Minister of Sikkim Prem Singh Tamang will also attend the Bodo Sahitya Sabha session along with the President. A large number of Bodo language speaking people from Bangladesh, Nepal, Tripura, Nagaland and West Bengal are also attending the event. Later, the President will also grace the valedictory function of the Northeast Festival at Guwahati this afternoon, organized by the Ministry of Donier as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Aminul Haq Joddar, Tamulpur.
The Char Dham Yatra began yesterday with the opening of portals of Gangotri and Yamanotri temples in Uttarakhand on the occasion of Akshaya Tritiya. Portals of Kedarnath Dham will open on May the 6th, while those of Badrinath Dham on May the 8th. The gates of Gangotri and Yamanotri temples were opened in the presence of thousands of devotees, administrative and temple committee officials yesterday. Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami, along with his wife, visited Gangotri to offer prayers and witnessed the ceremonious opening of the temple gates.
And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember revolutionary freedom fighter Atul Krishna Ghosh, who died on the 4th of May 1966. Atul Krishna was associated with the Jugantar Group and Anushilan Samiti. He was closely associated with the great revolutionary freedom fighter Bagha Jatin.
Atul Krishna was born in 1890 in Nadia district, now in Bangladesh. While studying in his final year of graduation at Presidency College, Kolkata, he got associated with Bagha Jatin and joined the Anushilan Samiti. He, along with Jatin, founded the revolutionary organization Pathuriya Ghata Vyayam Samiti.
Following his arrest and release in the Howrah conspiracy case, Bagha Jatin suspended activities and left Kolkata in 1911 under the responsibility of Atul Krishna. As an organizer, Atul Krishna sheltered revolutionaries. Later, a few members of the Anushilan Samiti formed a new branch of the Seva Samiti under Atul Krishna Ghosh. During this time, Atul Krishna maintained contact with many revolutionaries, including Rash Bihari Bose, Gurdeep Singh, Tarak Nath Das, and other Komagata Maru patriots.
हमने जब वादिए गुर्बत में कदम रखा था, दूर तक याद वतन आई थी समझाने को.
At the beginning of the First World War, Atul Krishna Ghosh and Bagha Jatin tried to obtain weapons in Germany and launch a revolution against British rule. However, the British authorities became aware of the situation and attacked Balasore, where the weapons were to be delivered. Bagha Jatin was martyred during the operation. The death of Bagha Jatin left Atul Krishna shattered. He was arrested in 1924 and released after 2 years. Atul Krishna passed away on the 4th of May 1966. We salute this great Indian.
We also remember freedom fighter Kasamaballi Chingalaraya Reddy, who was born on the 4th of May 1902 in Kolar district, Karnataka. Reddy is recognized for his role in replacing the Maharaja's rule with a stable government in the princely state of Mysore. After independence, Reddy became the first chief minister of the Mysore state. The state was considerably enlarged in 1956 when it became a linguistically homogeneous Kannada-speaking state within the Union of India and was subsequently renamed as the state of Karnataka.
Reddy was a revolutionary from a very young age. He founded the Prajapaksha after graduating from law school in 1930. The party's main aim was to install a stable government in the princely state of Mysore and support the cause of farmers. The organization soon joined forces with the Prajamitra Mandali and united as the Praja Samyukta Paksha or Mysore People's Federation in 1934.
K.C. Reddy served as the president of the Mysore People's Federation from 1935 to 1937. After 1937, the federation joined forces with the Indian National Congress in the fight for freedom. Reddy also led the Mysore Congress as its president. He served as a member of the Constituent Assembly of India.
After the independence of India in 1947, Reddy was at the forefront of the Mysore Chalo movement, seeking a responsible state government in Mysore state, and went on to become the first chief minister of the state.
This is All India Radio, Bangalore and Bhadravati. Sri K.C. Reddy speaks on Gandhiji and independence.
Many countries gained their independence before and some later than India did. But what is remarkable about Indian independence is that it was achieved by non-violent means instead of resorting to violence. This aspect of Indian independence will ever be enshrined in the temple of history as unique and deserving of homage and adoration.
After his term as chief minister, he was elected to be a member of the Mysore Legislative Assembly in 1952.
Subsequently, he served as a member of the Rajya Sabha from 1952 to 1957 and as a member of the Lok Sabha representing Kolar from 1957 to 1962. Reddy also served as the governor of Madhya Pradesh from 1965 to 1971. Till his death in 1976, Reddy continued to serve the people. We salute the great Indian.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
The Indian Army's Fire and Fury Corps will release a new metaverse at Rizangla this morning. To pay tribute to the brave hearts who laid down their lives in the defense of Ladakh, the new anthem is composed by famous international music composer and Bollywood singer Joy Barua and his band. Speaking to AIR News in Leh, Fire and Fury Corps GOC Lieutenant General Anand Sengupta said,
I'm also happy to announce a new metaverse-ready video song for the Rizangla Memorial, which will be released on 4th of May. There can be no more befitting a place than Rizangla to pay tribute to our bravehearts of the 1962 war. I am sanguine this song will reverberate not only in our country but also abroad and highlight the sacrifice made by the brave fighters of Ladakh, as well as the brave men of the Indian Army. I am sure the association of the various agencies will make this successful. I extend my best wishes to all the participants for the event.
A glittering closing ceremony drew curtains on yet another memorable edition of Khelo India University Games 2021, which witnessed the country's young and aspiring athletes use the platform to bring laurels to their respective universities. Union Home Minister Amit Shah, chief guest for the closing ceremony, presented the overall champions title to hosts Jain deemed to be university, who ended their campaign with an impressive 20 gold, 7 silver and 5 bronze medals. The Board of Control for Cricket in India BCCI has announced the schedule and venue details of the IPL 2022 playoffs and final. The qualifiers in the playoff stage will start from May 24 and the final of the tournament will be played on May 29. The qualifier 1 and the eliminator will be played in Kolkata, while the qualifier 2 and the summit clash will be hosted at Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad.
In IPL cricket, Punjab Kings defeated Gujarat Titans by 8 wickets at the Dr. D.Y. Patil Stadium in Navi Mumbai last night. Chasing a target of 144 runs set by Gujarat Titans, Punjab Kings overhauled the target with 4 overs to spare, with opener Shikhar Dhawan's unbeaten 62 and Liam Livingstone's unbeaten 30. Today, Royal Challengers Bangalore will take on Chennai Super Kings at the Maharashtra Cricket Association Stadium in Pune at 7:30 p.m. In hockey, a total of 29 teams will fight it out to lift the trophy at the 12th Hockey India Sub-Junior Men's National Championship 2022, which starts in Goa today.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Srinagar will have thunderstorm with rain. Minimum temperature was 12 degrees, maximum will be 23 degrees. Jammu is expected to have thunderstorm with rain. Minimum temperature was 21 and maximum will be 36 degrees Celsius. Leh will have a partly cloudy sky. Gilgit will also have a cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm. Muzaffarabad will have a thunderstorm with rain. The national capital Delhi will have dust storm or thunderstorm. Temperature will hover between 27 and 38 degrees. And Chennai is likely to have a partly cloudy sky. Kolkata will have a temperature range of 25 to 33 degrees.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Prime Minister Modi's visit to 3 European nations figures prominently on the front pages of dailies. Modi calls for diplomacy, talks to end Ukraine war, writes the Pioneer, while the Hindustan Times says inclusivity, diversity are strengths of Indian community, PM to diaspora. The Financial Express says domestic investors corner 71% of LIC anchor book. U.S. Supreme Court to annul abortion rights, reports The Hindu. 86% of professionals will look for new jobs in next 6 months, writes the Financial Express under the headline, The Great Indian Talent War is On. And under the headline, after 2 lackluster years, gold regains glitter on Akshaya Tritiya. The Hindu business line says that sales were 25 to 30% more than in 2019.
And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in 2nd India-Nordic Summit today. India and Denmark sign 9 agreements. Prime Minister Modi holds talks with Danish counterpart Mette Frederiksen in Copenhagen. Home Minister Amit Shah says Modi government pursuing zero-tolerance policy towards terrorism from day one. Much-awaited IPO of LIC opens today for investors. India achieves merchandise export of $38.19 billion in April this year. President Ramnath Kovind to attend Bodo Sahitya Sabha at Kausubadi in Tamulpur district of Assam today. Char Dham Yatra begins with opening of Gangotri and Yamanotri temples in Uttarakhand. Khelo India University Games come to a close with a glittering ceremony in Bengaluru. BCCI announces schedule for IPL 2022 playoffs. Ahmedabad to host the final. And Punjab Kings beat Gujarat Titans by 8 wickets in an IPL match at Navi Mumbai. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.